I do reading notebooks with my kids. Instead of doing like an actual notebook, I made it digital. So this year I'm adding each slide in individually each week. So I shared the template out with them to the beginning of the year, and it only had a few weeks worth, so now I have to go in every week and add it. So that does take time, but next year I'll have mine done. I can send the whole thing out at the beginning. And this is paired with my journey story. So I let them customize the cover, add a picture, add an image of themselves, and then we just go through each week, and whatever the story skill is, I've got some type of diagram for them to do. We start by doing them together, and then later in the year they start doing it with a buddy or they do it by themselves, especially if it's a skill we've already done. So I just have different charts. I've found them on Teachers Pay Teachers, and then I've created a few of my own just to go through some of our reading skills. So we have quite a few. We do it every Tuesday, just about, and then if I have kids that are gone, I copy and paste it into theirs so that they have the information. Now, the hard part at the beginning was it's all different colors, and they can't change the background. So like that background stays the same. They cannot change it. They cannot edit it. But what they can do is they add text box in. And I already put the text box in there for them, and I always put my responses type here, and I tell them to erase the type here and type in their responses. But they often delete the text boxes, so then they've had to figure out how to add the text boxes back in there. So that's been good for them to figure out. And then I've got some kids who always change the font and the color, so it takes them twice as long as any other kid. But it's been really good. So we do this every Tuesday. After we read our story, we go through whatever reading skill it is, and we come up with this chart. Another thing that I've done during my reading time is a reader's response. One of our novels that we do is Charlotte's Web. And the other teachers were all doing it paper pencil, and I was trying to figure out a way to create my reading response packets digitally, so I created a Google slide. And each week we did it for every 3 chapters, so I would give them the vocab words, and sometimes we would do it together, sometimes they would do it by themselves, and then we'd go over the answers. Sometimes I'd give them the definitions, and they have to figure out what the words were. Some of them I left a word bank at the bottom. And then I have comprehension questions that they just had to do. I tried to keep it simple since we're doing journeys and novels at the same time, so I just try to put 1 to 2 questions. Sometimes I did 3 in there for each section of chapters of the responses. So sometimes I had with vocab words too, so responses that they had to do. So we had it for every 3 chapters. They had to do an activity, vocab, and then comprehension activity, and then they had to turn it in, and it was all through, I shared it with them through Google Classroom, so then it was in my Google Classroom Drive, so that I could grade it at the end of our novel, and then they went into the grade book. Another one that I'm trying, we're trying it this 9 weeks. We just started it yesterday. We do Judy Moody and Stink Moody book clubs, and so I'm trying to keep them accountable for what they're doing during book clubs. So I created like the story map. I put it in different slides so they have more room to type instead of trying to smash it into one. But characters, setting, I was trying to make it so they could add an image. So they're supposed to type what the setting is like in the story and then try and find a Google image that would kind of fit the story as well. I'm doing the plot. And then I want to know each day, because I can't get to every group. We do book clubs at the same time, so I've got like 5 book clubs going. I can't read with every group. So I'm trying to monitor what they're doing. So I want to know the date, how many pages their group read, and what did they discuss, what happened in their story, so I can keep track if they're understanding their book club book, so I can go and sit with them and read more if I need to.